My name's Chris Williams. My background basically has been in education. I qualified as a teacher, got a degree in English and drama, and have taught everything from reception classes. I shall never forget my first day of walking into a reception class. I'm sure they're so small I trod on an awful lot of them getting to my desk, but that taught me a lot. So I've done everything from reception class in infant school through to pre-masters for Warwick University. So that's basically been my background. I've been involved in business as well. And when I decided I was going to stop working for other people, I wondered what I could do. As it had worked for me on 4 separate occasions, I decided to move into the wonderful world of hypnotherapy. So in addition to being a children's author now, I'm also a hypnotherapist. Well, the book is called Evan and Friends Meet an Ancient King. Now, Evan is my grandson. In fairness, I haven't given it to him to read yet because he's now 15 months old. And his friends are Violet and Grayson. They don't know about the book either really, but their mothers were friendly with my daughter in antenatal classes. How did it come about? Well, it came about because I was talking to a friend regarding business, and he asked me what I could shine in, really, what I could do that could help make my name. And his concept was that I could write a book. His belief was that I could write a book about hypnosis and hypnotherapy. Well, I sat down to do that. I've had a radio show, an hour's radio show every week, and I collected all that information, had it all put down in print, planned the whole thing, and then suddenly thought, I don't know, I think I'd have more fun writing a children's book at the moment. The hypnotherapy one, hypnosis book, will appear, but then I thought I would like to leave a legacy to my grandson Evan. So the concept of Evan and Friends was born. Originally it was going to be 2 small trilogies put in 2 separate books, but it developed from there now, and it's going to be a series of 6 books. Evan and Friends Meet an Ancient King being the first one. The second one is Evan and Friends Meet the Pirates, which has already been written, and I intend that to be out in time for people to buy for Christmas. The premise of it really is threefold. One of it is to leave a legacy for Evan, so that, if you like, it gives him something to be proud of, that his grandfather has written a book that includes him and his name, and obviously of which he is the hero. The second one is that it gave me an opportunity to fulfill an ambition that somebody once said everybody has a story in them. Well, I never really believed that was true, so I wanted to prove that it was. 4 reasons really. The third one was that I wanted to, because it's a children's book, I wanted to help children's charities. So the beneficiary of this one is Demelza House Children's Hospice, which is based in Sittingbourne. They look after some 750 children and their families every year, children who are in the latter stages of life, and it will raise much needed funds for them as well. And the third one comes from my youth, when things were only really in black and white. And I used to come home from school and I used to listen to a radio program on Children's Hour with people, astronauts travelling up into space. And I found myself drawing pretty pictures of invented spacecraft and aliens, and I had to use my imagination and visualize what these spacecraft and what these children look like, these aliens look like. And that, I believe, gave me inspiration to grow up knowing about imagination. As a hypnotist, I know that people's imagination, children's imagination, and their conscious mind isn't fully developed until about the age of 8 or 9. And I've watched some sort of children's television, and I'm probably being unfair, but I don't believe that it actually gives children the opportunity to imagine and visualize the same opportunity that I had. It seems to be spoon-fed to them. And I wanted to create a book that was going to be interesting to them, that they were going to enjoy reading, and that was going to help them to visualize and use that very vivid imagination that a child has. I've never been involved before, never written a book before, never had anything printed before, and I wasn't too sure about the convoluted steps that I had to take in order to get it to this stage. To write the book, in reality, probably took me a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, because I knew what I wanted to do. I mean, having said that, it probably took me a good couple of weeks anyway to draw up plans of what I wanted. Having written it, and be very proud of what I'd written, that's when the problem started, really. I had it illustrated by my brother-in-law's sister's partner, Carl Lavin, who did a wonderful job of illustration for me. So I now had a book, I had illustrations, I knew where I wanted the illustrations, and I'd put them all together. Then what do I do from there? Well, fortunately, a good friend of mine, 𝐩𝐫𝐸𝐽, was involved in publishing for many, many years. And he helped me enormously get it from final draft to actually publication, because it has to go through so many stages in order to get it to that stage. So it was sent to Latvia, they did all the proofs, we agreed all the proofs, it was printed by them and then shipped over to England from Latvia. Then comes the marketing. And can I suggest to anybody that anytime they're thinking of writing a book, please spend an awful lot of time deciding how you're going to market it in the first place before you actually get it printed. Because once it's printed, there's no going back. And marketing a book, new book, children's book, is not the easiest job in the world, but it has been the most exciting job in the world. The location, to some extent, when in the book we talk about Evan's great nana, that's my wife's mother, who was based in 𝙗𝙧𝙘𝐴 before, unfortunately she passed away. And my daughter Rebecca spent many, many hours down at her bungalow in 𝙗𝙘𝐴, playing with her and developing and growing herself. And I felt it appropriate, certainly for the first 3 books in the series, to set it in a place that is very special to our family. So although it wouldn't matter really where it was set, that's one of the inspirations behind setting it there. The other, I believe, inspiration, or the other thing that makes it unique, is that it is aimed at encouraging children to use that imagination and visualization. Now, there are a number of books published which are like that, but I do believe that this particular book is on a par with any of those, and that by using that imagination and visualization, it will help children to grow and develop into the best grown-up child and adult that they can possibly be. Charity is Demelza Children's Hospice, based in Sittingbourne in Kent. They, as I said, they look after some 750 children and their families every year. It is a vital part of it's a vital part of the local community. They cover the whole of London and the South East, and they give support to the children to make what is probably going to be their final days, weeks and months, to make it enjoyable for them, to make it as painless, dare I say, as possible, and to help their parents, who are obviously going through absolute hell, to help their parents to cope as well, and to see that their children are actually enjoying life. They have their own hospice. They also go out into the community and help people in the community. And all the books that I write, because they're children's books, I want to help children's charities. And this one, being most local to me, was the one that I first chosen. I'm hoping to do 2 a year, because by the time I get to the third one I should be over 80, and I think that's probably enough. Then that's when I deserve my break. So no, the third one is, all the notes are done for it. I know what it's going to be about. I know how it's a follow-up, because all of them are related, in addition to having the 3 main characters. Without giving anything away, the next 2 certainly have a witch in them, as indeed the first one does. Being Welsh, I'm also introducing dragons and things as well. There was a dragon in the first one. There's going to be a dragon in every single following one. So no, it's lovely to be able to write a whole series with very much the same characters and very much the same enjoyment that Evan and friends get out of it, in their mystery and their magic on their journeys and their holidays. So I want to thank everybody. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's buying the book, because without buying the book, there would be no legacy left. Well, there'd be piles of books as a legacy, but certainly there would be no possibility of my donating money to help Demelza House. So thank you to everybody who's buying the book. Thank you to those people, those of you who are actually taking the trouble to listen to this and to look at this, even if you don't buy the book. At least we're getting the name across, we're getting Demelza across, and we're being able to publicise it. Carl Lavin, who is the illustrator, he's put up with a lot of changes from me and a lot of probably unreasonable demands from me as well, and produced some very, very, very positive illustrations within the book, which very much help it and steer people in the right direction. 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐬, who's been a godsend to me. I don't think I ever got it published without him and his help. It's been absolute magic. To Violet and Grayson's mum and dad, big thank you to them for allowing this to happen. I have to thank my wife, who's suffered me doing it and has done all the typing for me. She's done a lot of the proofreading for me. She's sometimes been my reality when I've got carried away writing a book and then doing 1,400 illustrations for it. So she's been an enormous help and support, and indeed has now typed up the second book in a series of 6. Certainly got the first 4 planned, but she's been a great help as well. And I suppose most of all to Evan, who, as I said, doesn't know it yet, but has been an inspiration to this and an inspiration to all of the other books as well. So thank you very much indeed to everybody involved.